Fight Club is my all-time favorite film. Undoubtedly the movie I've seen the most amount of times, and a decade-defining 90s masterpiece, film and novel. The film in particular has matured alongside me as I've watched it over the years. It brilliantly works on so many different levels. It's an all-time action movie with a cool twist and an awesome commentary on the dangers of consumerism, but it's also this weird meta-commentary on a toxic masculine patriarchal society told through the lens of a satirical bromance. To further it, I love how this film was targeted towards, sold to, and ironically beloved by the exact audience that needed to hear its brilliant commentary on toxic masculinity decades ahead of its time. And I also love how it transcends all of that and is just such a good movie that can be appreciated by anybody, gay or straight. The filmmaking is top tier, the twist delivers every time, and Brad Pitt is extremely hot. It's everything you could want in an action movie. I'm not claiming that this is the definitive meaning of the movie. There's truly something in Fight Club for everybody. This is just a layer that many don't necessarily get to. This movie isn't just about being gay, but there are many homoerotic themes and undertones in Fight Club that I'm going to be dissecting in this video essay. Spoiler alert for both the film and the book. Fight Club was originally a novel written in 1996 by Chuck Palahniuk, a gay author from Washington State. The book can often be interpreted as his homoerotic commentary through his lens as a gay man in a patriarchal 90s society run by straight men, where the first and second rule are not to question anything. Chuck is known to discredit gay theories about his writing, but I think it bleeds through in his work more than he's willing to admit. The book is very similar to the 1999 action film starring Edward Norton, Brad Pitt, Helena Bonham Carter, directed by David Fincher and ironically beloved by toxic frat bros across the nation for decades now. They did a great job remaining faithful in their adaptation, but the book is able to jump all around the story a little easier. Largely due to Brad Pitt's incredibly hot performance as Tyler Durden, many dude bros and frat boys love this movie for the sweaty action scenes and nihilistic mayhem in an unironically homoerotic way. In the book and film, Tyler Durden is very sexually charged. He's almost every masculine man's definition of a man, overly macho and attractively self-destructive. Most of the men depicted in the film and book are also overly macho and speak in homoerotically charged language. The narrator describes Bob's tits. Bob's big arms were closed around me to hold me inside, and I was squeezed in the dark between Bob's new sweating tits that hang enormous, the way we think of gods as big.
Bob had bitch tits.
The book opens with a lot of talk about men, their testicles, and supporting each other through cancer. It describes Tyler splicing pornography into films at the theater with his job as a projectionist, similarly to how Palahniuk splices homoerotic innuendo into his book. An airport security officer describes a vibrating dildo as, sometimes it's even a man's.
9 times out of 10 it's an electric razor, but every once in a while, it's a dildo. Of course, it's company policy never to imply ownership in the event of a dildo. We have to use the indefinite article, a dildo, never your dildo.
But I don't own.
The fighting itself is homoerotically charged in its descriptions. You aren't alive for the first time anywhere like you are alive at Fight Club. When it's you and one other guy under that one light in the middle of all those watching, Fight Club isn't about winning or losing fights. Fight Club isn't about words. You see a guy come to Fight Club for the first time and his ass is a loaf of white bread. You see this same guy here 6 months later and he looks carved out of wood. This guy trusts himself to handle anything. There's grunting and noise at Fight Club like at the gym, but Fight Club isn't about looking good. There's hysterical shouts in tongues like at church, and when you wake up Sunday afternoon, you feel saved. It's all very sexually charged language in its depiction of masculinity. Replace fight with fuck, and these paragraphs start to make more sense. A big part of the gay experience is discovering your sexuality, which is a very complicated thing. Many gay people think they are straight for a large portion of their lives, often experimenting with different people. Sometimes their sexuality can get categorized and shelved, and their cognitive dissonance can let them not dissect it for years. The nature of Tyler and the narrator's relationship is somewhat vague at first. Are they just bros? They often act pretty flirty towards one another. They live together and do intimate things together like share the bathroom while one is taking a bath. Later in the movie, the narrator beats Angel Face, played by Jared Leto, to a pulp, describing, "I wanted to destroy something beautiful," in a clear act of jealousy from all the attention he was getting from Tyler. Why does the narrator care so much about Tyler's attention? Why does the narrator seem to care about Tyler sleeping with Marla? I think the narrator's obsession with Marla being a faker is that she sees through his lies and fantasy. The narrator is always trying to portray himself as the perfect, straight, masculine man, aka Tyler Durden. Even when he's sleeping with Marla, he's not present, he's performing as Tyler. Tyler even tells the narrator,
I look like you want to look, I fuck like you want to fuck.
it's all performative. I think just because Marla is a woman, she sees through his patriarchal-based toxic masculine fantasy of being this perfect, straight alpha man. So there's a lot of self-denial and hatred that the narrator projects onto Marla when he doesn't live up to that fantasy. In the scene where the narrator sits in the bathroom with Tyler, they talk about,
We're a generation of men raised by women. I'm wondering if another woman is really the answer we need.
the end of the film could represent the narrator telling Marla that he's realized the complexities of his sexuality for what they are, possibly now just seeing her as a friend and apologizing for involving her in his destructive delusions. Regardless of all my own crockpot theories and gay fantasies about this film, Fight Club was written by a gay man, and it's interesting to view it through that lens. That before a mob of people with their own repressed sexualities come for me, I'll say that it's important not to view Fight Club as just gay, because it awesomely represents both the gay and straight masculine experience, and shine through as just great pieces of media. Fight Club isn't about being gay, it's about frustrated men in modern society. The novel was revolutionary, and the film includes amazing direction, writing, action, and decade-defining performances. It's my favorite movie of all time, and I love talking about it. Thanks for watching. For more content like this, hit like and subscribe.